Morning, it's Yasmin here and I'm making my bread dough recipe. Again, I've done this video so many times, you just wouldn't believe. It's early in the morning. We went Drayton Manor yesterday. If you don't know what Drayton Manor is, it's a theme park. So I was busy all day yesterday, came back late and then woke up early this morning realising I haven't got any bread. So I thought I'd do a batch and try and video it today. If I have forgotten anything, I'll put it in the description below or add an annotation, because that's all I seem to do lately. I'm going to go through the ingredients and get started. You're going to need a cup of warm water with 2.5 teaspoons of yeast, 1.5 cups of wholemeal bread flour, 2.5 to 3 cups of plain white flour, 1 cup of milk with 2 tablespoons of butter melted. Oh, forgot to say, that's the yeast I use. A teaspoon of salt, and that's everything. In the bowl, I added in, forgot to say, and 3 teaspoons of sugar. In this bowl is the half a cup of warm water, 2.5 teaspoons of yeast, 1 teaspoon of sugar to help activate the yeast, and as you can see it's foamy. The next step will be me adding in the 1.5 cups of wholemeal flour, and then as I go on I'll talk through it. So I'm going to put you on the tripod and we can do this recipe. Into the stand mixer bowl I'm going to add in my 1.5 cups of wholemeal flour. Always just, doesn't matter what order you add the flour in, I just add that in first, just used to. Gotta add in my warm milk and melted butter. Make sure that it's not too hot as it can kill the yeast. Off camera I already added in my 2 teaspoons of sugar. Now I'm going to add in my 1 teaspoon of salt. Always try to put the salt on top of the flour so it doesn't kill the yeast. I'm then going to add my attachment. I'm now going to mix this on the slow speed. I let the wholemeal flour, milk, yeast, sugar and salt mix together just for a few seconds. And now I'm going to add in 1 of the 3 cups of white flour. Let that mix a little bit and then I'll add in the second one. I'm going to add in my second cup of the white flour, and then I'm going to have, there's 1 last cup left, but I don't add it all in because sometimes I don't need the full 3 cups. Sometimes I need 2.5 cups, sometimes I need 2 3/4, or sometimes I need even more than 3 cups. But I rather add it in slowly because it's best to have a moist dough than a dry one, especially working with wholemeal. So I'm going to let this second white cup of flour mix. This is how it looks with just the 2 cups of white flour in there. I'm going to add in, if you can see, it still looks really sticky. So I'm going to add in half of the the 3rd cup and see how it looks. This is how it looks now when I put in, this is the last of the 3 cups of flour. I put in half of it. it looks like it's coming together good, but it's really sticky. So I'm going to add in a quarter of this last half. So that will be a total of 2 3/4 cups of white flour. I'm gonna mix that in. Hopefully that might be enough. I don't think it will need the full last quarter left. So I'm gonna mix this and come back and show you what it looks like. Here we are. And the dough is definitely done now. I'm gonna stop it. Once the dough comes together, you leave it to knead for about, well, mix around for a good 5 minutes. So to recap, in total, in flour, there is 1.5 cups of wholemeal flour and 2 3/4 cups of the white flour. We didn't need the full 3. Now it's come together, you're going to take the dough out, grease inside the bowl with some vegetable oil, put the dough back in and let it rise for an hour. With this dough recipe, I forgot to say, it makes 2 loaves of bread. These are the tins I use. You can make 2 loaves, or sometimes I do like 1 loaf and then the other half of the batch I make bread rolls. But we've been eating a lot of bread rolls out of this dough lately, and I want just a nice slice of bread for sandwiches and stuff for the kids as well as us. So yeah, let me take the dough hook out, take the dough out, grease the bowl, and I'll bring you back. So I'm going to take the dough out. I'll move the dough hook first, that helps, makes it easier. Take the dough off the hook. You can see it's all come together nicely, really nice and soft. I'm going to grease the bowl with the vegetable oil. Put the dough ball in there. I use the dough ball to rub the whole bowl with the oil, because when it helps when it rises so it doesn't stick to the bowl too much. Turn the ball of dough over so it's covered. You can see how shiny it looks. It's covered in the oil. And then I want to cover the top of the bowl with cling film. I always do it twice just to make sure I get a good seal on it. You're meant to leave it in a dark and draft-free space. With it being so sealed, definitely draft-free. And with the kitchen being warm, it's fine sitting here. And then we're going to cover it. Oh, cover it with a tea towel. Sorry, you can hear the kids in the background. It's the school holidays. So yeah, I'm going to cover it. Covered it with a tea towel. Always drop this down because it doesn't really do much. And leave it for an hour 15 minutes. How much I leave it for? And I'll bring you back to show you what the dough looks like. It should be doubled in size, if not more. Hi, it's been an hour now. I'm gonna check. And it has doubled in size. If I leave it for longer, another 15-20 minutes, it will literally fill that bowl. But it doesn't need to. So what I'm going to do now is knock the air out of it, cut it in half, and then form it into rolls to go into my bread tins, and then we have to leave it to rest again for another hour. Actually, before I knock the dough down, I forgot to grease my tins. I know people normally grease it and then add flour to it to help. I don't. I like the crust it makes on it with just the oil alone. So what I did was I added poured in some vegetable oil. And just make sure it's greased on all sides. I'm going to do the other one and then set it aside and then get the dough out. Okay, I'm going to take the dough out of the bowl. Again, you can flour your surface. I choose not to because I like how soft it is and I don't want to make the dough any denser. So what I'm going to do is cut this in half, put the other half back in the bowl, and then work with the first slab. So yeah, I'm going to, hope you can see it, I'm going to try my hardest to make a rectangle. If you hear any noise around, it's probably the kids banging about. Try and bring it close so you can see. So you see it's kind of a long rectangle, and then what I'm going to do is roll it on itself to make the shape of the dough. That's how I do the forming of my loaves. And I'll try and, like I said, I'm going to try and see if you can see it as best as possible. Hold on. So yeah, like I said, it's the best kind of a long rectangle I can. And what you do is, this is how I do it anyway, you stretch, roll, press down, roll, press down, roll, press down, bring it towards me, roll, press down. I know you're probably thinking, what on earth? But it works. Roll, press down, roll, press down. And then kind of pinch all the pieces together. And then these little bits are here that you rolled over, you push in, squeeze together. Do the other side, push in, squeeze together. And that's the basic roll I get. And then even though I've rolled it, kind of try and form it. Sorry, my hands are a bit all over the place. Yeah. Try and get it so it's even as possible. I've never had the dough crumble on me or roll out or make, because I always worried when I did this formation, because I was experimenting, if it would affect how it looks when you cut it. Doesn't, does it? It looks like a bread roll. So that side's a bit thicker. So I'm stretch it out a bit. And then that's the process really. And then I'm going to put it in my oiled tin. And what I do is I push it down a bit. And then cover it with the cling film that I used to cover it when it was in the bowl. And leave it to rise for an hour. And I'm now going to go and do the second one. And then leave them to rise for another hour. Okay, I'm back. The bread has been rising for an hour in the microwave. And whoa! See how big they are? That's why I'm being gentle as possible. Don't want to knock the air out. Oh. So yeah, look how they've beautifully risen. You can leave them for longer if you want, but if you remember the size of them, they've more than doubled. So I'm going to now put them in the oven for 30 minutes on 100, because mine's a fan assisted oven, so it runs a bit hotter, on 180 degrees for 30 minutes. And they've been lovely, dark golden brown. And when you tap it, it'll be hollow inside. So I'll be back to show you what it looks like after it's been in the oven. Hi, the bread has been in the oven for 30 minutes. Does it look very attractive? That's the wholemeal in it. But if you can hear, when I tap it, it sounds hollow, which means it's cooked all the way through. What I'm going to do is rub some butter on it, and I'll be back in a second. I rub some butter on it, which I think it makes it look all the better. What I'm going to do is, I don't want to add a picture of it, how it looks in the end. I want to take it out of the tins and show how it looks all nice and crispy all around the edge. And I'll just take it, hold on, I'll take it out of the tin. Here they are taken out of the tin, if you can see. Perfectly golden brown and soft. I love it. I love this bread so much. I only tend to buy bread from the store if I don't have enough time on my hands to bake it, because making bread is quite time consuming, but look, it's worth it. So I'm happy to finally bring this video to you of my bread dough recipe. If you got any questions, please comment below, and thanks for watching. Bye.